Hi and welcome to another edition of Anths Innovations. In this episode I'm going to be tackling a problem that many RVers will come across, certainly on older vehicles when they go for MOT, in the fact that if you have lap belts fitted, depending on who inspects it, it may fail, and it should fail. Looking at the information available through the DVLA, or DVSA, sorry, it is quite clear that 3-point seat belts should be fitted. So to that end, it leaves you with a dilemma. You could go to there are some places that will retrofit 3-point seat belts for you at a cost. I'm not sure, the mechanics or the labour involved in that. It wasn't an option that I wanted to pursue. I was trying to think of something where I could sort of do a bit of self-help. So I think installing one is not really an option. I mean, you look, at the walls here, you can't really, drill a hole through here and just stick a bolt on the other end. Clearly that's not going to support any force or forward force in the event of a head-on collision. So that's not an option. So then I thought of previous cars I've owned, which was a BMW E46 convertible. And I did remember that these had 3-point seat belts integrated into the seat. So my quest began to search and source 2 BMW seats from an E46 convertible. And I found some. So I've got them. And today I'm going to be taking you through how I remove the captain seats and install the BMW seats with the 3-point seat belts. The other added bonus, if you like, for these type of seats that I'm going to be putting in is they are fully electric. So you're going to have 12-way electric seats as well. Okay, look forward to this episode and let's get cracking. Okay, so we can see here on this seat the 2-point seat belt, or lap belt if you like. Yeah, which, as I say, is no good. We need a 3-point seat belt. Okay, so the first thing is to find out how to remove these. Very simple. Having a look underneath, we can see 4 bolts in each corner. One there, and there's another 2 either, or 1 either side, just up in the recess here. So this will detach the seats simply from the base plate of the swivel function. So let's crack on and do that. Right, now that's unbolted, then we can just simply lift the chair under the seat belt first, because they're connected to the actual base plate. Take that off, and that's it. Pop that chair out the way there. So we can also see, I'll just bring the camera down. So you can see here is your base. So we can just remove the seat belts now. There's just bolts behind the little flaps there, and the same on the other side there. You can see that bolt there. So we just undo them. They're a 3/4 bolt. On the seat itself, on the front of the seat, you have these little spaces which would actually elevate the chair a bit. So you can go ahead, pop them back on, and just basically just put your nuts back on the threaded bolts there, just so you don't lose them. Should you wish to, who knows, possibly reinstall these seats after MOT. Not that I'm saying you should do that, but each to their own. Okay, so the next part is offering or removing these outer seat belts, and then offering the new seat up to the base plate, so we can start seeing how we're going to mount it and where we need to drill holes, etc. The seat is in position now, resting on top. What I have done is connected a little motorcycle battery to the power cable. So it is important when you source your seats that you do indeed keep the power cable, or ask if you can have the power cable from the car, and then just connect simply the brown wire to negative and the brown and red to positive, and that'll allow you then to operate the seat electrics, because you're going to need to position the seat depending on which bolt holes you need access to on the runner itself. Okay, so if I just pop that forward a little bit and look at the back, so we can see here the original rail and the rail or track, if you like, the right hand track on the seat. So in the top there will be a bolt hole, so all I'll do is drop the seat back a little bit, or the rail back, and put the seat fully forward so I've got access to that bolt hole. I can then put my centre punch in and centre punch this, which gives me my drill point for that right hand. For the left hand, I'm going to have to measure, because these holes aren't directly lined up. So that one is okay. This one that's extended, which is the left hand rail if you like, I'll have to measure from the front to make sure it's exactly the same hole that I need to drill through here, so it's in line. Otherwise the seat will be off on an angle. So that'll be the next thing. Drill that hole. I can drill that hole as well, and then my last thing is to centre punch through the hole that I drill into the original metal here, and then drill through that as well, and then that'll be the back of the seat secure. So I'll crack on with that. So we can see I took the seat off, tipped it upside down, so now I need to measure out where I need to drill the hole on this rail. Now it's important that you take the measurement to the other side, to the hole. You're trying to get the same distance to make the hole in there, so the seat basically sits square. So it's important that you take the measurement from the very front of the top rail, not the bottom rail, because they're not the same size. So from the very back there up, and that is 18 3/4 of an inch. So again, very back rail, on that one, on the top rail if you like, 18 3/4. Now there's actually a metal stud on here, which was great. So that means I can just do my centre punch on there. Now again, make sure it's central with the two existing holes. So whether you mark it and then get a ruler and then make sure you're punching exactly in the centre. If you do it too far left or right, as I say, it'll foul the bolt head when the seat is moving backwards. So make sure that's nice and central. Pop your mark in there with your centre punch, and then that's your drill mark. I've already centre punched the existing frame on there, so I can drill that hole there and this hole out here. Then put the seat back on, and then I just need to centre punch this hole that I'm going to create on there, and then that's basically the two mounting points done for the rear. Okay, I'll get the drill out and do that. Right, so you can see I've got my hole drilled in there now, which is in exact line with that one. I've drilled my hole in the base, so I've just got to reposition the seat now back on here, and then I can centralise that, put a bolt through so it's in exactly the right place, and then do my centre punch in here and drill the final hole on this part. Okay, so I've centre punched my hole where we are there, so you can see this hole in the middle. So that's fine. I've dropped the bolt in there, so I know that that's in the right place. Now, just one more thing I wanted to mention, because it is quite important. Certainly if you're using exactly the same method here of these E46 convertible seats, you need to put this left-hand rail as far across here really as possible. So you can see there the thread. I've put it basically at the very start where the threads go into the main body there. I've put it directly in line with that, and you'll notice there's quite a bit of overhang on this bit. That's because these seats aren't sitting central on the runners. So, and the other reason you want it as far across to the left as possible, certainly on the driver's side, is because otherwise it won't be in line centrally with the steering wheel. And as long as you do this, it will be. And the other reason is that motor there, if you do it any further across, when you come back, that motor will hit this bolt. Now, as it happens at the moment, when I go back, it will just say miss it underneath there. So that is the ideal place. If you do it any further to the right, as it were, that will catch, and you'd have to put more spacers in to raise the seat up even more. which isn't so bad for the passenger seat, but not so good for the driver's seat. You don't really want to add any more height to the driver's seat because they're already higher, the seat bases, in this setup than the originals. So keeping them as low as possible on these mounts is key. So that's one way of achieving that. Okay, so I'll now take the seat back off and drill the hole. Okay, there we have it. One fully fitted BMW seat. Apart from the front, which I've just got to make a bracket up now, but it's secure on the back now. You can use the buttons here to move the seat forwards or backwards. Obviously you've got the functionality here. You can adjust the headrest height. You can tilt the backrest as normal. We can lift and lower the back seat, or indeed the front. So that's pretty much it. So apart from wiring this in properly through a relay and a fuse, and doing the brackets for the front, then that is jobs are good, and hopefully that should pass now the MOT. You can see we've got the 3-point seat belt, which is integrated into the seat itself. So I'll do a video of when I get the bracket manufactured. So I'm basically going to measure the bracket up, what needs to be done, take it to the fabricators or the measurements, and get them to replicate that in a metal bar. So that'll allow me to fix the front part of the seats to the base. As I say, the beauty of this is once you've done this, it's just a case of unbolting 4 bolts. You can take this whole seat off and you can reinstate the original seat if indeed you wish to do that. Okay, so just to show you what I have done is also done the driver's seat as well. So I've done exactly the same process. And again, I've got no power because obviously I've got the battery connected up to the other one. But you can see there that that's installed as well. And it actually doesn't look too much out of place, to be honest. Makes it quite modern, so it's quite a good touch. Now there is some extended bits on here. In fact, if I do it on this one, so I'll just bring there is another thing I want to show you as well. Remember I talked about getting this lined up across to the left, so you should be able to see now. In fact you can't, because the I haven't got the flash on the camera and I haven't got my torch to hand. I'll point that out in a different video. However, one of the other points is these bits that are extending here, it's absolutely fine to cut them off. You can't cut anything off at the front because the motor spindle, if you like, is at the front of the rail. But it is okay to cut the back off, so I'm going to do that just to make it nice and flush with the back of this seat. And I'll do the same on that one there. And then you can then when you reinstall your plastics, which would be another good thing to do, which will basically cover the stuff there. Now if you cut this off there, then obviously this is going to have to be adjusted, so you're going to have to just basically modify this slightly, maybe just cut that back bit off there. But that's it. Again, it'll just tidy that job up, make it a little bit better. Okay, so the next one will be when I've got the bracket manufactured. I'll show you all the measurements for that, and then how I get that installed, and then hopefully show you on the MOT that we get a pass. Okay, thanks for watching. Dilly dilly. Yeah, so as I was saying, I've got the flash on. So imagine if we'd put the seat too far over. I'm just going to retract the seat back now, and you'll see how close this gets to the bolt. There we go. So again, if we didn't move that bracket right to this edge, that would have been as far back as you could get the seat, which, as I say, is fine for the passenger, but might not be so good for the driver. Okay, that was that. Also, do remember you still have the functionality of your swivel bases. Yeah, so there's your lever there, that's still there, allowing you to spin the seat around, so you still got that functionality of a captain's seat on both sides. Dilly dilly. Good morning. Today refitting the tie rods. Got the new tie rod ends on. I've backed them out to the correct thread length to what they were when I took the originals off. So the longest bar is the one that connects both wheels, and the shortest bar on this side connects to the pitman arm, and then that to the top of the right hand wheel. So we've got to fit the long bar first, so that makes sure that any movement on any wheel will be transferred to the other wheel, so it doesn't go out of line. So I'll get this long bar fitted first. The wheels haven't moved, so it's just a case of placing it up to the wheel inserts where they're going to go. Make sure that they're nicely aligned. If they're not, just back off on a thread on both sides so it keeps it nice and even. Until it fits in nice and snug, and then I can tighten everything up on that bar. Right, here we go, dilly dilly. Well, that's them all in place. So, left hand, that's the pitman arm coming off the serum pump. Good job. So I've put the new grease nipples in. Just need to grease, but I need new grease tube. Sod's law, I've got no grease left. And top and bottom tie rod end there. I sprayed anti-seize copper grease on the tapered surface where it goes in to the bushing, just for future proofing really, so it comes out easier, because what a mare, as we know, I had trying to get that out. Yeah, as with anything, it's a lot easier putting things back together sometimes anyway. Right, that's it for this. Moving on to the seat brackets now, dilly dilly. Okay, seat brackets. So I've marked out now where I need my holes. So I'll just run me 10mm holes now, so 4 on each. And that should sort it. So these two are going to bolt the bracket to the actual pivot part, and then the other two for the seat holes where they originally secured in the car. Okay, get these cut, dilly dilly, cut, drilled.